In this video, I'm going to do a tour of my study room. This is actually a multi-purpose room where we do work, study and play, as well as store some of our random stuff. If you're looking for ideas on how to combine a home office together with a play area while making sure that there's plenty of storage to store and hide all of your things, this video is for you. This room has actually evolved many times since we moved in 2020. No, since we moved in 2016. It was started off as just a home office, like study room for my husband and I. And then 1 year later, when I picked up floristry, it became my florist studio slash home office. And we started off not building any built-ins, which is a great decision because it allowed us to change the needs and buy loose furniture as needed. And then in 2019, when my first daughter came along, this room was used as like the resting room for my mom or the nanny. And then after that, this became a study room again, but it was like not cohesive looking because we used different brands and color themes of different like loose furniture. And then in 2022, when my son came along, we placed him here for a short while with the nanny while my daughter and my husband slept in the other kids' room. After that, when he grew up a little bit bigger, we put him back in the kids' room, put my daughter in the master bedroom, and then this became a home office again slash play area. So it has evolved so many times. But in 2023, when we decided that the kids are a little bit more older now and we're done having kids, we knew that this room would serve us really well if it was nicely designed to be a home office, study area for my daughter because she was turning 5-ish, 6 already, and also a playroom, like an area to store toys as well as books. So at the end of 2022, we actually engaged our ID to help us execute our vision. So I actually had a very clear vision of how I wanted the carpentry and the built-ins to be like. With my expertise and knowledge as a professional organizer, I knew what kind of storage I wanted to build into my study room. So today I'll bring you guys on a tour to let you guys know exactly how the space has been designed and how we're using this space right now. Let's go! Okay, when you enter the study room, this is what you see. So we have done like an L-shaped kind of carpentry to the right side of the door of the study room. We actually initially wanted a built-in kind of like a platform bit along this area, which we thought would be useful for our guests or our helper, but it turned out it increased the cost of the overall renovation to be too high, so we thought we'll just do away without that, and actually it turned out to be a great thing. So this carpentry here is L-shaped and it provides us with lots of storage. And then we have this desk here, as well as just upper cabinets for like our documents. We also have a secret little nook over there, which I'll explain in a bit more details later. So for these two doors, at the far end of the L-shaped carpentry, I mainly store toys. I wanted the kids to have easy access to the toys so that they can reach out for them easily and take whatever they want to play with easily. So my ID actually made a very good suggestion to sort of not have the drawer handles be fully flush to the top so that it's easy for the little kids to reach out. I find that it's actually a really good suggestion as well because you kind of have a little peek in to see what's in the drawer, which is really good for little kids. So when I tell my 2 to 3 year old son where to find his toys, he can easily just hop over to the drawers and peek in and just reach out for the correct drawer. And sorry, this is a bit of a mess now, but I usually place like lesser played toys on the upper shelves, or toys that are brand new and I don't want them to open yet, like all the way at the back. Some commonly used storage for toys are here, I find that it's easy for me to sometimes just reach out for an empty box when, say, they're opening a new toy and then it's all loose and I can just pass them the box easily. And at the top are just some like random spare stuff that I've yet to declutter. So that's that. And I've actually placed this magnetic whiteboard at the back so that it's not out in the open. This part here has already gone, but as you can see, it's very easy to install. You just paste on the back strip there, so 3 strips, and then you can just stick it on like that. So let me just adjust it a little bit. So I've done it for both sides so that each kid can have one. Okay. And then for the corner cupboard, I specifically requested for doors that open outwards so that I can have full access to the stuff in the corner. This is actually a very common renovation regret and also something that IDs may not actually pay attention to. So do make sure to ask for cupboard doors that open outwards if you have an L-shaped cupboard. So we've requested for them to not do like base flooring here because we initially wanted to store our luggage here, but I eventually moved it all the way up because I realized that my kids like to come in and hide here and play here. So we actually repurposed one of our trolleys to store toys. So this is now all of their kitchen toys, and I find that it's a really good thing to store their kitchen toys rather than art supplies because it's easy for them to just dump things back. I know it's not in proper categories, but it's fine. To be honest, for kids, they are more macro than micro when it comes to sorting. I also have like the big boxes of like Legos as well as like wooden rainbow blocks. They usually like to push the whole stack out. I have some of my exercise gear here, so my yoga mat, my foam roller, and some like longish stuff like kites and whatnot. And some of these things are actually stuff on this layer are to be given away, so just waiting for the people to come and pick them up or for me to post onto Carousel or Olio. And then the rest of the white boxes that are high up here are some of like our personal memento, keepsake, as well as some festive stuff like party decorations and whatnot. I think I will need to do another round of proper declutter before we move, but these two cupboards actually get used a lot on a day-to-day basis, and the kids love hiding here as well. One other request that we actually asked our ID to do was this hanging rod. So we thought in order to keep it versatile in case we have guests, he added this rod in. So because this is an L-shaped configuration, this rod goes in this way, and then there's a shorter one on this side as well. Because if you hang the clothes here, the clothes will end up reaching here anyway, so the other rod starts from this side. So we removed it because we're not using it for clothes, but if we ever have guests or if the next homeowner is going to use this as a bedroom, this would be pretty useful. So yes, we like that we have removed the baseboard so it's easy for the kids to go in and out. And in order to prevent dust from accumulating easily, my ID has also done kind of like an additional flap there so that the dust can't go in easily. So it's like that. There's ample storage in this study room. So I've showed you the two-door cupboard, the L-shaped cupboard, and you might be wondering what this final panel is. So it's actually a fake door. Why? Because it houses the storage. You actually access it from this side. So I've asked for this little nook here to store like homework, worksheets for my daughter, because when we built this, she was about 5 and she's starting to get homework from school. I wanted her to do a little bit of assessment work and things like that. And this is where I keep all of their temporary artwork, which I've yet to sort. So when they bring home artwork from school, I just dump it in here and out of sight, out of mind. And when it gets full, I'll declutter. There's a little trash bin for us to use in the study area. So I find that it really helps to keep the surface area clean while, as you come into the home office, you don't really see all the clutter on that side. So I really like this hidden nook over here. And underneath here, it is a secret cupboard for our printer. So when we built this, when we asked our ID to build this, we specifically requested for an additional switch on the inside. He also asked us for our printer measurements, so we actually bought a new printer then, so we sent him the measurements for this to make sure that it can actually accommodate it, so it's actually perfect in size. Every time we want to print something, we just pull out and we just print and the paper will just come up. So as you can see, it's actually switched on. We actually don't switch it off, and you can just keep it away when you don't use it. So that's good because we don't print things all the time. So I like that it's very nicely hidden there. And because there's a need for the upper cupboards to be less deep, because otherwise your head will knock into it, right? So this little part has a L as well. I also requested for my ID to have doors that swing outwards. Okay, but as you can see, because this side here is a little bit shorter, this part here becomes really deep. So it's a mess that I need to get through soon, but I put stuff like some of the extra stationery, craft materials, new notebooks, some like photo frames that I think I can now throw. We used previously, but now we no longer use. Some like empty tag boxes that my husband wanted to keep, and some like random keepsake stuff like Saka seeds that he picked for me when we were dating. Yes, so this part, and then as you can see for the upper cupboards, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are two doors, and this is a single door because my daughter sits here. So these are all her stuff, like activity books, craft paper, and those are like her schoolwork from playgroup till now. It's like 5 years of work, so schoolwork, so I'll be going through that very soon before we move. So every time she wants to do some activity here, I will just open this cupboard and reach out, and sometimes she sits on her high chair to reach out for whatever assessment book or activity book that she wants to use as well. Okay, and then over here, these two cupboard doors belong to me. I have my most frequently accessed documents here, the kids' documents, orderly stuff, helper documents, some stationery, some of my personal notebooks and books, as well as my camera stuff that I use frequently. I put it here. Those are my candles. Those are like some stuff I use for orderlies workshops when I need to, some tech gear, some extra storage stuff. And then those are like stuff from my uni days. I don't know why I have not let go of that book, but I think I'm ready to let go now. And then those are like my yearbooks, as well as my like report books and stuff like that. And then over here belongs to my husband. So most of his personal documents, extra files and folders are all here. These are the empty ones. These are his previous like certificates and stuff like that. Techie stuff like phone covers, screen protectors and stuff like that, and then just lots of spare space at the top. So on our desk, moving on to our desk, we actually kept it really simple. All we did was to ask for these removable sections for us to put our extension bar in, and then that links to the socket at the bottom. So there's 2 sockets there, and then one inside the hidden printer cupboard. And then for all of we have 4 drawers here on the desk. Husband's, mine, and that belongs to my daughter. They have so much junk. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to throw everything away. And initially, we really wanted to have like a magnetic backsplash. And when my ID quoted us, it was quite expensive. I can't remember how much. I'll check and I'll put it in the video notes. So we thought it wasn't, I remember it was a few $100s, and we thought it wasn't that worth it to spend that amount of money on a magnetic backsplash. So what I did was I just ordered like the same magnetic whiteboard that I used behind the kids' cupboard. So we bought one from Taobao and we just installed it ourselves. So similarly, you see the black piece, that's the other half of the magnetic part, and then we stuck it to the wall and we trimmed this to fit the entire length, so it's one piece, there is no separation in between, and we just stuck it on. So as you can see, it's actually pretty good and very strong. The magnet can hold up. This is a magnetic calendar that I have for the kids, and then I can easily add clips to pin up anything that's recent that I need to take note of as well. So we actually use our desk very often. We like that it's, there's ample storage to keep everything neat and tidy. And I actually found these like shelf risers from Taobao to kind of elevate the monitor, and so that every day I can just pull out my keyboard and use my mouse when I need to, and then when I'm done, I'll just hide it away. I have a little section here that allows me to put any documents, like pending papers and stuff if I need to, but I recently cleared them, so it's quite empty. This is just a phone charger. And then for my husband's one, he preferred a different design, so he doesn't have the pull out thing, but he has this little sections for him to put little knick-knacks here that's easy for him to access. So I guess one of like the mini reno regrets we had was to turn the last drawer here into something that was a little bit different. My husband thought that by doing this as a flip down drawer, he would be able to pull out and have his keyboard here and use it when he needs to, and then keep it away when he doesn't have to. But after the desk has been built, we realized that after he sits in this area and his knees are tucked in, it's not enough space for him to pull out and use the keyboard comfortably. So in the end, we kind of forgoed this and just used this as like a regular desk drawer without keeping the keyboard there. So he just keeps stuff inside and the keyboard just ends up being here. And on the other side of the study room, I've kept it very simple. That's my husband's sword from his army days, and I recently moved all of the kids' books out, and I realized it really has encouraged them to read so much more. Kids are so visual, so I guess if you're really trying to encourage your kids to read more, it's good to keep them out open and easily accessible. I was lazy and I didn't put bookends on the end, but I've basically kept the younger books on the left for my son and the slightly more advanced books on the right for my daughter. And because they love drawing as well, these are like some activity books that are like more drawing related or like just for fun for the little one. And here, and I wanted to hide some of the visual clutter away, so I used these rattan baskets. They're actually not real rattan, they're like plasticky kind of rattan, so it's kind of like faux rattan, fake rattan. You can actually dip them into water and wash them if you need to. But all the phonics related like level up reading books are all here. And then on the other side are just a few more books, which I left them in these boxes because there wasn't enough space on the upper shelves. So I've kept this really simple. Oops, that's my hair clip. I really wanted to decorate this wall, but I am not good at decorating and I wanted to get some help, but I guess because we're moving already, I guess we don't have to do that. This is my candle warmer, which I use time to time when I'm in the mood. These are the fake peonies from my own wedding bouquet. And then this is the art drawers that I'm very proud of and my kids love using. So these are from Muji. I keep all of their art supplies here. pencils, marker, erasers and sharpeners, I think. It's got a little bit messy now, but it's okay. Tape, ice cream sticks, crayons and color pencils, and then stickers. So I love that there's a designated home for stickers because they come home with stickers all the time. Look, oh my goodness. It's like 5 years worth of stickers. So every time they come home with stickers, I just chuck them here and my son can reach out for it very easily. Graph paper and their own personal like techie stuff like toy camera and headphones. So this entire drawer is very easy. My son likes to take everything out, put on the floor, draw, and then he can just keep it back by himself too. So yes, this area gets used a lot every day. My son will just pick out the books and just sit on the floor here to read by himself sometimes as well. And then we have the area behind the door. So actually I realized for a lot of homeowners here in Singapore, the ironing board or the area where they iron is usually like somewhere in the home office, and I'm the same. So I actually found these behind door ironing board holder thingy to hang the ironing board. And I love it because it's very out of sight. Behind our door, there is a little gap there as well. So when I open the door, I can actually click it. And most of the time, when there's not too many pieces of clothing hanging here, the door can close and click very nicely. So I should. There. And I don't have to see the ironing board or the clothes when the door is left open, which is most of the time. So yay, I love that I've hidden it nicely behind the doors there. So that's it for our study room tour. I really love the storage built-ins that we did for this room, and because I use it to work from home as well, the kids use it every day when they wake up, when they come from school. This room is actually very, very highly used. I love that the design is very versatile. It serves as toy storage, home office. If you want to convert this into a guest room, it's doable as well. I have a mini library behind me as well. So this is like truly a multifunction room. Oh, and yes, the laundry ironing station where my helper would park the clothes that she's going to iron, and then she would one shot bring everything over like once or twice a week to iron in batches, which is like the most efficient way to do so. So yes, we absolutely love this room, and because we're moving soon, I would say that we would definitely miss using this room. My husband and I actually thought it would be such a waste to have only used this for like 2 years, because we did this up in end 2023. But I told him that this is kind of like an investment as well, right? Like we built this up nicely and we might be able to sell off our home at a slightly higher price because these built-ins are really new and very nicely maintained, and it's very functional and versatile for different purposes and uses. So yes, I hope this home tour inspires you, gives you some ideas. If you're renovating your home, renovating your home office, I hope these ideas are useful for you. If you have any questions about my renovation for my study room, feel free to comment in the comment section below. Otherwise, I will see you guys again in another video. Bye!